Hi, I'm Jim Mann with Homestyle Southern Cooking. It's so nice to be back with you again. And yes, I've been missing in action for a while, and I appreciate the notes that you've sent. I appreciate the little letters that people have sent me, or my friends that have written me from the States. But it's really nice to be in the grocery store and somebody walk up to you that you don't even know and say, you know what, I hope we see some of your videos soon. So I really have felt the love, and I'm back now, and I've got so many things I want to share to you. Tonight I'm going to show you a recipe that my grandmother made. It was my great-grandmother's recipe. And remember, I've told you all along, always, use what you have in your pantry. Well, back when I was growing up, my grandparents didn't have a lot of the fancier things. So my grandmother always liked to make things. So one of the favorite things that she would make for me was a bread custard. And it was, like I said, my great-grandmother's recipe. And what they simply did is they took white bread, which I have here. I can buy it in Mexico with the crust already cut off of it, okay? But you can just take the white bread and just cut the crust off of it. She would bake bread sometimes, and she would just cut the crust off of it and use that. But we're going to start off simply today. I'm going to take a small loaf pan, a glass loaf pan, and I'm going to get this prepared first. I'm just going to spray this a little bit around the sides in the middle and set this out of my way, and that'll be completely out of my way. Next, I've got a small mixing bowl. Until this mixing bowl, I don't know how much to tell you over. It's like 1 cup and a smidgen over, whatever a smidgen is. A little bit more than a cup of milk that I'm putting in the bowl. To that, I'm going to add 2 eggs. And like I said, this is something that, pretty much you have in your house all the time. Bread and eggs and milk. And this is something that she always had in her house. So this is something when I go see her that she could always fix for me. Okay, now I'm going to I'll wipe this milk up I spilled here. I'm going to take my whisk here and just whisk this together just a little bit. Just so I can get those eggs incorporated a little bit with that milk. Okay. All right, let's set this bowl out of the way. The next thing I'm going to add is I've got just plain sugar here. I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of sugar in here. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Now, if you don't have white sugar, use brown sugar, Like I always tell you, use what you have. But most people have white sugar in their house, and they'll have plenty of it. Also, she would use cornstarch. And I got 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And we'll put in there 1, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. So that's just sugar and cornstarch. I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of vanilla. Half a teaspoon of vanilla. And once again, I'm going to put just a light amount of salt. I'm not going to measure it. As you can see, that's just a light amount. I'm just going to put that in there. And I'm going to whisk this all together. I'm going to get this all mixed up all together. This was a real treat as a kid because it's something she could make in a hurry. And I never knew what she was going to do with it when she got finished. And it's good hot or cold. And I was very fortunate that I had my grandmothers that loved to cook, and they always were making something. So thank goodness I picked up the trade also. But some people call this a bread pudding. It could be a bread pudding, but she called it a custard pudding. All right, I've got that pretty well mixed together. But what I want to do is I'm going to strain this. because I don't know about all the cornstarch and everything, if it's all gone through. So you see at the bottom here, I've still got some cornstarch and things in there that didn't mix. So I'm going to take that out. Okay, now I've got my mixture. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my bowl back over, my baking dish back over here. And I'm going to take my bread. Now, she used to use currants. Some people call them currants. Some people call them white raisins. I've heard people call them sun dots. Whatever you want to call them. I'm going to take a couple of these currants and I'm going to put it right in the middle of the piece of this bread, and I'm going to stand it up just like that. Then I'm going to take another piece of folded bread, put a couple in the middle there. Now, if you don't have raisins or currants, you don't have to use those. I mean, this is just something extra that if she had. Sometimes she would even use pecans, and if she had it, or she'd put strawberries in there, or raspberries, or like I said, sometimes nothing at all. It's good just by itself. So I'm going to fill my bowl up here. My oven's set on 350 degrees. Get a couple more here. Maybe just one more. Just one more in there like that. Put that in there and get them all lined up here. Put this other piece of bread back in my wrapper. Set my currants out the way. And then what we'll do is we'll take my mixture and we'll pour my mixture kind of on top of it. Go back and forth, but then I'm going to actually take my spoon. I'm going to take my spoon and I'm going to spoon it on top of it too. Because I want to make sure that each one of these pieces of bread gets some of this mixture on it. All along the edges here. Like I said, my oven's set on 350 degrees, and this is going to bake about 25 or 30 minutes. Pour some more of this in there. Because this actually makes the custard with the bread. But like I said, I want to make sure that I get some of this on all the bread. Go along the edges here and make sure that it's all covered. Okay, and I'll just pull the rest of this right in here. Okay, now I'm going to put this in the oven for about 25 or 30 minutes, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, our bread custard has been in the stove about 30 minutes. It's getting ready to go off right now. I just checked to see. So we got 17 seconds left, but it's ready. I'm going to take it out. And I want you to see how pretty it looks on the top. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this cool down a little bit. And once it cools down a little bit, there goes my timer telling me it's time to take it out. Once it cools down, I'm going to come back and we're going to cut a piece of this and let you see what it looks like inside. So I can't wait to show you. I can't wait to try it. This is going to bring back so many childhood memories. I'll see you very soon. Okay, our bread custard, as you can see, has cooled down enough that I can handle the plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little spatula right here and just cut down right through the middle here and take one piece out. Might get a little bit bigger spatula to take it out. We used to just dig in with the spoon when I was young. But let's see which size. You can see both sides. It's really light and fluffy here, and it's brown on this side right here. And you can see the custard part there. Now, this is the fun part, getting to cut it and taste it. Sort of crunchy on the outside and it's so soft, just like bread pudding inside. And if we peek inside, you can see the currants down in there. There's one right there. I gotta have another piece of this. It's really a custardy bread pudding. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have a hard time leaving this alone tonight. It's really good. I hope you'll try this. And I want to say thank you to all of y'all that have supported me, especially since I've been on a little hiatus, and your love and is appreciated so much, the notes and everything, and that you let me come back into your house again. I feel so honored when you let me come back in and be a part of your family. I've got so many more wonderful things I want to bring you, and bring you things like this that I had as a child, and let you try it. Try this. It's so easy. You have the ingredients at your home right now, I'm sure. Let your children try it with you. You know, if you don't have the yellow raisins, like I said, use whatever you have or use nothing at all. But it's delicious, and it's something that'd be really good even with whipped cream or ice cream. Really, really good. Thanks again for letting me come back in. You take care of yourself. You're important to you. I love each one of y'all. God bless.